Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm on Team Purple Turtle working on Mind of Melvin. So my first task was I want the car to handle it as though it would if it were a chariot being pulled by a horse. So in order to achieve this, I had to adjust the car to have a slower acceleration and adjust the handling to be more controlled so that it didn't drift out of the player's control. So basically what I did was I made it have a wider turning radius, and we can give you an example of that in right here. So we get into the chariot or car, and we notice that it has a very slow acceleration and very wide turning radius. So it doesn't turn as well as it should. Or as it doesn't have a very short turning radius, so it doesn't turn very quickly. Alright, so in this level, the next thing I did was I made it so that the car wasn't able to actually drive off of the cliff. There was an issue with being able to drive off of the cliff over here, and that has been sealed up so you can no longer go over that. And then, so after that, we're going to go ahead and we'll drive down here. We'll get to the next part of the level. Go through this door over here. So we added some more water over here. Some rocks to kind of create some pathways, some more rings of water. Let's see. So another part was to also make sure that the landscape met the fence so that you couldn't actually drive in between the gap in the fence. And while we're right in that area, I'll also show you that we changed the lava so that it matched the lava in the previous level as well. Because there were two different kind of lava blueprints that were done. So we noticed that there were some things that weren't matching. So we did go ahead and get that taken care of. Over here, we can see that there's actually no more gap in the fence that you would be able to drive through. And if you come over here, I'm sorry, wrong way. Go over here. Can run around that guy. We can run over here and notice that we do have it set so that the lava does match the previous level. And then we'll run back over here. So the next thing that we had to change, I had added was with some fish to help kind of point you in the correct direction. And when I adjusted the landscape, it kind of did all of these at once, and well, it'd be easier to show all at once. Um, when I added the water to add the fish, I also adjusted making less dead space in the area for in in the level, so that way the player didn't have to run through so much. And I'm not seeing it for some reason in there, but there was also a task to build 4 buildings as well. So I built 4 different style buildings. I have this single floor right here. I have a double floor over here. Some more single floors. Ooh. Not sure what's going on, but it froze on me. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll restart it. Get on here and we'll keep going. Escape and keep going. So there was this water that was added right here underneath this bridge, and it kind of added a lot to the landscape when I added all of this and the trails for the rocks. I gave the player quite a few different places to explore, along with the buildings. Like I said, that was a task. I'm not sure where it is. I might have to put that back in. But on this side, you're able to see a lot has been done. Some different areas to explore, some cutouts, some almost cave-like things were added, so that way the player could explore different areas. All of the buildings were able to go in and out of, so the player had more places to kind of explore, see what was in there. And over here, like I was saying earlier, is where all the fish are. So you can kind of see what's going on and that they're pointing you in the correct direction that you need to go into so that you can kind of see where you're going if you were to just kind of jump in here and go swimming. So fish will actually point you in the right direction. And this gave the player much more to explore. They kind of ate up a lot of the dead space, so to speak. And the player can go up the stairs and everything. Go upstairs. And we have some single floor buildings over here, so that would be all 4. And then we have like a little cave space over here for the player to go explore as well. And I believe that's all for this level. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to the main menu. And we'll go to level 2. So for this level, oh, I'm sorry, right here was the task. I want the player to have more buildings to go inside of, and that was right here. The 4 different sized buildings, place various amounts of buildings and to fill in empty space to make the level more populated. And up here, I had the task of polish Path of Atlantis assets to make the exploration more enjoyable for the player. And how I did that was I made a path through the fish so that way there you weren't running into them all the time, because we noticed when playtesting that the player would actually run into them. So instead of taking them out like the initial idea, I actually just kind of move them around a lot to kind of make a path, so that way there the player would know where to go when they were going to pick up this collectible. What I also did was I changed the color, so it would tell you when the widget pops up to show you how many you have collected out of how many there are. We changed it from white to yellow so that it's better visible and doesn't kind of clash with the background, and so you can't really see it. The other thing was I added a sound to notify you when you do pick up a collectible. The next thing I had done was I adjusted the timing of the doors to stay open longer. Also made it so they actually stay open indefinitely now instead of just staying open longer. That way that the player doesn't have to kind of worry about really having to be able to figure out how to go back and forth between the doors if the door does close. The other thing I believe was the task was that I had also scaled the cliffs and doors to kind of match better sizing, and I had adjusted the distance between the walkway so the player couldn't jump from one ledge to another. I had actually just go ahead and remove that ledge altogether, so that ledge is actually no longer there. And right here, I made it kind of like a cave door, kind of hidden. If you open it, you go in here, you can collect the collectible. So everything's kind of more scaled better. Oh, we're about to die. Okay, so we'll go to the last checkpoint. Another thing that I had done was I added another task that was to adjust the lava material and lava B to fit the lava BP. So that way there it was scaled to fit correctly. And that was actually best shown over here. So before it actually just looked like one big glowing thing instead of looking more like it's flowing, like it's got some flow to it. And it was pretty stretched out, so you couldn't really tell that it was actually lava. So in my next task, the next part of the task was to add more watery paths to make it more noticeable that you're coming up to Atlantis. So I added a couple paths like the one from the beginning of the level. I added this water over here. With this water, another part of my tasks were that I was going to speed up the platforms and make the platforms come closer to the ledge. And let's see. Yeah. So what I did was when I added this watery path, I made it so that way you actually took damage if you fall into it, and there's a sign over there that explains that. I also sped up the speed of the platform so that way it kind of gave the player a little more of a challenge trying to get through. The next thing I did was I had added the detection to the water creature character, so he actually chases you now and will attack you. And the last thing that I did was I fixed the lava waterfall so you can't see through it. By that what I mean is that you were able to kind of see in between the space between the cliff itself and the lava, the way that it sits. So what I did was I added that to this rock, and the rock actually covers it all up very well. So it looks more naturally formed, like it's actually supposed to be flowing that way. So it looks more like a waterfall and less like a it's floating over a cliff. And I believe that was the last task that I had. Yeah, that was it. And again, my name is Ryan, and this is for Team Purple Turtle on Mind of Melvin. Thank you.